All right. Yo, yo, yo. Let's see if this works. All right, guys. This is my first live. We're going to be going live here soon with, oh, shit. It's working. It's working. Let me mute this. Yo, what's up? All right. So, what up, everybody? This is what's up? It's crazy talking to the channel. I've never gone live before, so this is going to be real time. So just bear with me for a few minutes. Dave is here. I'm going to do a little mini introduction. He's going to correct me if I got anything wrong. We'll bring him in. We're going to talk junk, guys. So if you have questions for me, questions for him, I think we're just going to kind of like powwow. I actually have questions for him myself. So he's actually in the, I can see him in the background right now. Hold on one second. I'm going to add him here in just a few minutes. It is 2:55. Okay. What up, guys? We got 10 people here. Oh, shit. I'm just going to add Dave in for now, but we're not going to like jump into it yet. Or actually, hold on. Let me introduce. We're live right now, by the way, Dave.
How's it going, man?
So we've got 10 people so far, but we're not going to like get into it yet, Dave, until like let's give people a few minutes to show up. But it looks like we've got 10 viewers now. So I don't want to do the
More than
intro
I've
yet.
ever had.
I'm going to do my little intro on you from what I think I know, but we'll wait. We'll give it a few minutes. So we'll just say hi, chat in the chat room. What's up, guys? How you doing? If everybody could like say something in the chat so I know there's actually people here, that'd be cool. We got a few messages. We got Danny Hera, turn up Terrence. Oh, that's what I just turned up Terrence for my birthday last week. I'm still hungover. 6 days later. Free Space Junk Removal. What's up, my man? Raising Cleo the cat. Shag Baker took it literal and said something. That's my man Shag right there, guys. If you ever want that employee handbook, he's one of the best writers I know. And of course, we can't forget the most important caffeine-free Diet Coke. Danny Hera, hurry up, haulers. Nice, you follow us both. That's awesome. We got 11 people in here. We're popping. But Dave, you know how it goes. We're probably not going to get a lot of live viewers, but this video will pop up and it'll get views down the road.
Cool.
Oh shit, we bumped up to 14. Oh, okay. What's up? Is it Kami or Kame Hall? What's up? We're gonna start chatting here in about 5 minutes, guys. And just so you know, please ask questions. It can be to Dave, it could be to me. We're both just gonna powwow, chit chat. I have questions for Dave.
Cheers to Trash. How's it going?
Ooh, support from Columbus. Oh shit. He's Oli. Oli Otis, are you also in Columbus?
Yeah, I believe that is Cheers for Trash. Or Cheers to Trash. I met them up in one of my videos.
Oh, nice. And I actually wrote down a few questions that I have for you, Lug Stars, when we get started.
Cool, man.
14. We are famous, bro. 14 live viewers.
It's more than I ever had on a live stream.
How many did you hit?
I've never lived.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna go get. Oh, we got my future ops manager here. He's the guy who runs the LA truck. He runs all that stuff. Mr. Chad Garver. Love your guys' content. To talk on Wait, hold on. What's your name to talk on? Oh, Total Control Demo. Okay, I thought it was to talk something, but it's Total Control. Control with a K. What's up, Control Demo? Thanks for coming in. Ooh, we're at 17. I want to put one more post in the um in the Discord. We are live, everyone. Let's go. Okay. We
I'm
got
not sure I can use the
17.
chat. I don't think I can. I don't think I have that
You would
function here.
probably have to open up another tab, the actual live streaming, or
Mhm.
the actual video, my live video, and then
Oh,
you
is
can
that
see
what
the
it is?
comments.
All right, hang on. Let me see if I can do
Unless you
that.
can see the comments on your side.
I could see the comments. I just can't do anything. So that's fine though.
Do you see yourself getting into dumpster rentals? Yes, no, and why? I will answer that question, and so will he. All right. I'll be back. 60 seconds, then we're gonna start rolling. Are you laughing at me? Are you watching? Why are you laughing? Don't laugh. Don't watch my live. Are you gonna watch me? I think my lady's gonna watch my live. All right, we're at 23 now. All right, guys, so let's get rocking and rolling. So we are going to be streaming live with Dave over here on this side. I got to point in a different direction. Over here, we got Mr. Dave with Lug Stars Junk Removal. I remember when he first started, I believe you joined the Discord. We started talking, and correct me if I'm wrong. You've been doing pretty good. You've been in the business, I think, since January. So a little Padawan, but doing well. I think you've closed some big, nice sized jobs, and I think you've done one of the biggest resells I've ever heard of.
Yeah.
Of stuff you found. We'll get into that, but I think you found like somewhere between $10,000 and $20,000 worth of stuff you resold. Pretty impressive, but I don't know much about what you've been doing. So, how are you, Mr. Dave, and how's things going?
Doing pretty good, man. It's going good. This last week was a very great week. I think we did over 10 this week. And so we've been consistently starting to do like 6 to 7 jobs a day and building a pretty good business here. I think I don't know what it's going to be like in the winter because Columbus is very temperamental with the winter and the
Mhm.
holidays. But yeah, it's going pretty good, man.
Awesome. Did you say 10,000 this week?
Yeah.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
right on.
Plus tips. I
And
don't
hey,
count the tips.
guys, please put your questions for him or me. And if it's a question specifically to a certain person to clarify, maybe just put the name Andrew or Dave. I'm going to run through my questions with you first, Dave, of how you
Okay.
started this business. Um, and then we'll start just drilling through the comments. But,
Sure.
bro, we got 27 live viewers. We're like, I mean, that's 27. We're like, that's basically celeb status. But, I got to ask the question everybody asks, the boring question. Tell me a little about yourself. Give me like a 5 sentence, who you are, what's going on, where you from, yada yada. Who's
Sure.
Dave?
Yeah. Hey Nimrod. I see the hi there. If I missed some of you guys in the chat or something, if you're talking to me, I'm sorry. On my end, I don't see it that well. But yeah, I started this business. So I moved out from the West Coast where I was operating before I came out from Oregon. But I started this business here in Columbus. It was technically the end of December is when I bought the truck, and then so January was when I did my first jobs. We did like 2,000 in January, and then February. I did what was it? I think it was 10,000. I was trying to shoot for 5. I think we did 10.4, and then March I really blew up. I mean, we ended up shooting through the roof. It was 30, I think 38. That I forget where exactly we landed. We were aiming almost to 45,000, but we had some that didn't
No.
pan out, and then it kind of leveled out. And in
Did you say
April,
real quick? just so I heard correctly, did you say your first month you did 10,000?
2000.
2,000. Okay.
Yeah. I was figuring things out, trying to figure out what to do, and it was January right after my first two jobs were Bagsters. I'd never even heard of Bagsters before. We didn't as far as I know, we didn't have those out in the West Coast. So
Okay.
I'd never seen them in my area. So those are pretty cool. Um, but yeah, and then so now we're consistently doing between like 1 and 3,000 a day, but we're starting to hit a peak. So I'm trying to hire right now and build up a second route. And
Okay. Cool.
yeah, going from there. We did a few big clean outs, couple, 5-digit clean outs, which were pretty nice. And then uh,
Nice.
I did found a few nice resales. I did my biggest because I resell a lot. I have an eBay store and I have resold like hard goods, big and bulky, little things, first class you just sell online or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I've always like bought and sold. eBay is really good because it's a nice secondary income. That's what floated me and allowed me to do the business, and it still does. But anyways, yeah, that what you mentioned before, that was my biggest find. It was survey equipment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on. But real quick, back to the original question. Who is Dave?
Who am
Tell,
I?
yeah, like so. Okay, if you were to ask me who's Andrew, are you long walks on the beach? I'm an ex skate. Just tell us a little bit about yourself, not just the whole business thing. Anything interesting at all, or not just business. Like who is Dave?
Hmm. Well, I've been married 16 years. I got 4 kids. I have
Okay, all right,
yeah,
family
got
man.
a dog. I'm a family man. Uh, businessman, and yeah, I don't like long walks on the beach, but I like the beach.
Okay. Okay, that's perfect. That's all I need, a little something, man. But
Yeah.
that's like that is I have some questions about because your previous business I almost got into when I was really struggling, like figuring out what I was going to do. Was it going to be junk removal? Was it going to be back to programming? I follow a guy named Lonnie on Shed Flips and Garage Flips. I almost got it. Gary Vaynerchuk almost inspired me to get into garage selling and eBaying. So you said you
Yeah.
did eBay before this, right?
Yep, I still do it.
And how's like how's the we're not going to go too much into this guys, but I want to know a little bit about Dave, but how's the eBay business? Like how'd you get into that?
I've been reselling and doing it since like 2000. Shoot, I mean, my first sale on eBay I think was back in like 2007 or something, and I started doing it more in 2011. I didn't actually realize people did it full time and actually made that much money on eBay until more like 2017 or so. But I've always bought and sold, like flipped things and stuff like that. But eBay, I started hitting it full time more around 17 and 18, and then I used to kind of sell everything. I've had my hands in just about anything. I've done
Uh-huh.
Amazon, all kinds of stuff. But
So
anyways,
was that actually like your full-time job? Like
yeah,
for like
yeah, no,
you were
I did
surviving
eBay.
off eBay.
Yeah, the
Wow.
reason that I got away from it is because I want to be in control of my own business. If you're on eBay, you're on their platform, they're in control. You can't sell it. I had where before I moved, I had like all my inventory. I had like 20,000 items or whatever, you're only as good as your inventory. You sell it off. You're only able to sell that stuff that you have for sale.
Yeah.
Because pretty much you're the business. What I'm trying to build here is something that is bigger that can be sold.
Right.
Something that's owned and kind
Something
of like
that's not controlled by eBay only and a little bit scalable and sellable, something that can be
yeah,
acquired. Cool. And
yeah,
if you last question about the eBay business, what kind of margins were you looking like getting with the eBay business? If you pulled in 100,000, what were the margins usually?
55%
How
roughly.
much?
55%.
Oh, so
So
good margins.
yeah, pretty good.
Even after eBay fees and PayPal fees and shipping fees and all that bullshit?
Yeah, they're monstrous. Yeah, those fees are monstrous. So 55%, and then uh but you use that money to also buy more inventory as well.
Now,
So
this is going to be an interesting question, kind of. Do you think any of your eBay skills translated into helping with junk removal? Maybe like the computer side of things or because I feel like eBay is kind of a technical thing. Like, not I don't feel like anybody can just start an eBay store and crush it. You know, I feel like there's a lot of logistics on the back end when it comes to eBay. Do you
Yeah,
think
there's a
that
lot that you
helped
need
you
to
at
learn
all?
about. There's a lot. I mean, anybody can find something, put it on eBay, and try and sell it. Take a few photos, put a description. What's hard is creating the conveyor belt so that things are constantly selling, so that it's a real income and that it's a real business. And in order to do that, you think about it. Okay, if you want to sell 20 items a day and you want to make $20 per item, that's what it, 20 items at $20 a piece, profit. What is that?
Right.
$400 a day. So, but in order to do that, you have to actually list and picture and describe 20 items a day. But then you
Right.
also have your sell through rate depending on how many you're going to sell. So if there's a lot that goes into it, okay?
Yeah, yeah, I could
If you're
see
gonna
it.
have 6,000 items and you're gonna have a 1% sell rate, that means you're gonna sell 60 a day. But if you want to keep up selling 60 a day, you have to list 60 a day. There's
Yeah,
like
that
this way.
sounds like a lot to
Right.
do.
Well, yeah, yeah. So what I found was best is finding one thing, getting really good at that, and listing that. So I was the number one hat seller on eBay at one point. Um,
Nice hat seller, huh?
yeah, I had over like 10,000 hats, and I was selling like one-offs here and there. But I don't make very much per transaction, but I have a monstrous amount of transactions. That's the thing.
Got
So
it.
yeah, so eBay does pretty good, but what it translated over to junk, it actually reselling everything like hard goods, stuff you can't sell on eBay. Like you're not going to sell a freezer on eBay. I never did local pickup. I just do
Right.
things like marketplace, Craigslist, whatever, right? So that helped me understand what the values were of some things that you might find. But being on eBay also helps you find out things like that survey equipment that I found.
Yeah.
I didn't know what the value was. I just started looking up a few pieces on eBay, and all of a sudden I was like, wow, and then
Yeah,
I
that was
realized
a
I almost dumped it all.
that is nuts because I
Yeah,
think you did
the
that. We'll get
guy
into
when
that
I
in a
went to
minute.
go pick that up, the guy already scrapped, like, I think he said, like, 70% of it, and he said, "I'm gonna keep back the stuff of value." And I was like, "I wonder what that was."
Damn. And
So
guys, I want to remind you, as soon as I'm done hitting him with my questions, I'm going to dig into your questions. So please, we're going to go down the entire list. So just put any questions you guys have for me or Dave. And now to the next juiciest question that I got to know: eBay to junk removal. How did you find junk removal and why?
mm. So, that one actually ties in real well. So on eBay, I got tired because everybody's a reseller today. Everybody's a reseller. You talk to anyone, they're like, "Oh, I sell on eBay. I do this, I do that." Everybody knows about it. It's really hard to get inventory, and that means it's really hard to buy stuff, even hats, even shirts, clothing. I sold men's clothing. I've sold everything, but it was really hard to find anything. So I was actually trying to find a way to beat Goodwill, to beat the donation to Goodwill. I was trying to get my hands on things that people were going to toss out, so I could just go and try and resell it. And then I figured out there was actually more money in the junk removal than there was the reselling side,
Yeah,
you know? So even my biggest sale, I sold all that gear for 15,000, and even that was less than what I made in the junk removal. So
that's still crazy. So
it's a nice chunk of change, but there's more money in the junk removal than there is the other parts.
you
And
came across junk removal by looking into the reselling business.
yeah, I was
Just
trying to find stuff to resell, and I was like, "Hey, man, if I can haul people's junk and they pay me, then I'm not buying inventory, and then I just go through it and I sell
you
whatever is good out of
So
it."
you just kind of just as you're looking through reselling stuff, it kind of just hit you and you just Googled it, YouTubed it.
Well, I was already doing junk removal way back. I was doing it dirt cheap, just trying to get stuff to sell, and I didn't understand how it actually worked. So I'll shoot you straight. I didn't actually have a junk removal business until this one. I just started this one.
Right.
So I was doing junk removal. Like I was the guy who would show up way back. I would do anything for a buck, tear down a metal shed to go scrap it, you
Mm,
know? So,
damn.
but that also gave me some insight to know like what was involved, like how much it takes to put down a metal shed and how you do it. And, the time that it takes. I mean, the trailer, I started with like an SUV hauling a little 4x6 trailer.
Right.
So, but
So Oh, keep go. Was there something
So
else?
I was trying to find inventory to sell. So I was like, man, I'm going to start up this junk removal business where people will pay me to take the stuff. Because on the videos, everybody brags about what they get, when they do a junk removal haul. They're like, "Oh, look at
Right.
this stuff, look at that stuff." I didn't notice how much construction debris you haul, or just trash or garbage or whatever. And there's really good stuff that you get from the jobs, and it's great. But yeah, but the junk removal is actually proving where I don't have time to resell stuff because I
Yeah.
got so much going on. You know what I mean? But that's how
Yeah.
it all started. And that also let me know the value of things. So when I'm hauling things off, I can pick it out pretty easily. Like I can look and be like, oh, that's worth something. That's worth something. That's not, because I've just done it
It's
so long.
it's kind of crazy because I get asked that question all the time. Why don't you resell?
Yeah.
And in the beginning, it's great. It's easy, but as you notice, once you start getting 6 jobs a day, and the goal is to get 5 to 10 jobs a day per truck, right? That's or a couple big ones, but you're staying busy that you don't have time. I don't have time, especially with LA traffic, to go. It takes an hour to get anywhere in LA, and we'll be late for the next appointment. So it's like you don't have time to
Yeah.
resell when you're that busy. So, in
Yeah.
the
We only
perfect
do it if
world,
it's worth it. Yeah.
yeah, maybe I'll open up storage units in like multiple locations of LA eventually. I don't know. But
That's not a
yeah,
bad idea
um,
for sorting. That's not a bad idea.
yeah,
That
just
might,
like
it might pay
little
for
storage
itself in
units.
scrap.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
something I'm considering, but I need to get to a third truck before I do that because even with just 2 trucks, my margins to adding multiple storage units and blah blah blah. But one question: what was
I thought you were running 3 trucks. Are you only running 2?
we have the third truck, we just haven't started the location yet.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, because we were working on that big job that took like 2 months, and
Yeah, mhm.
I didn't
Oh, and
have
you had to
time to
shut a
launch
truck
it.
down.
Yeah, and it was
Yeah,
just a lot of work. But,
yeah.
what made you finally, like getting into junk removal, that's a commitment, like, I mean, you gotta get you got a dump truck, right? You gotta finance a fucking expensive ass truck, and then you
Yeah,
have to, like, what was the final thing that you're like, "Okay, you know what? I'm going all in with junk removal." Like, what
yeah.
made you decide to do that?
I've always wanted to do it, and it's just, I don't know. It was kinda time, I guess, because I've had this idea for a long time, and I've always wanted to do it, but, I was struggling, man. I was going everywhere trying to find inventory, and to resell and whatnot. And then the more I looked into it and I found videos and found out what kind of a business it could be, I just said, look, what's a truck payment? And I really looked into it. You don't want to get used, you want to get new. I went and
Mhm.
bought used, and I lost $10,000 cash on a truck that just immediately I lost out on it. And
Really?
I think it was more than that actually because of repairs and stuff like that. And so I went and got new, and I said, "Look, if I can pull X amount of jobs, then I can, the truck pays for itself." So
Right.
really, I was trying to get the truck paid for itself, um, and then find things to sell, to make it worth it and go. But the more I looked into it and the more I started doing it, I started getting these jobs, and I saw how much was coming in from the jobs, and so I just started marketing for more of those. And
Right
then it
on.
just yeah, and that's when I saw it. I was like, wow. I was like, somebody just paid me $200 for 15 minutes of my time. I showed up, I threw some stuff in the back, you know, and that
Yep.
was the Bagster I was talking about. And I was like, the city picks it up for 2, I'll pick it up for 2. And and then I did a second one, and I was like, I can't believe that. But what really lit my fire was the third one. I showed up to a garage, they had some bags of trash, and I was like, yeah, you pay for what you fill. I showed them my price sheet, and I said, and we threw bags in there. It took maybe 20 minutes, and they paid me like 500 something dollars. And I was like,
Yeah.
that was what did it. I was like, man. Yeah,
I remember one of my first jobs too, loaded up a bunch of cardboard boxes and he paid me like 300 bucks. I was like, what the? I like my jaw dropped. I was like, this is the business. Like,
yeah,
especially when you're an owner operator in the beginning and it's just you on the truck, it's mostly profit.
yeah,
But once you start getting off the truck and having employees and having people handle your phones, the margins drastically go down. But
yeah.
um, so you started in January. What was like? How did you get your first customers? Because I don't think you started running Google ads immediately. Did you? What was your most effective
No, I
marketing
didn't.
techniques in the beginning?
Yeah, I didn't find your stuff until a little bit later, and I implemented a lot of what you teach. A lot of the things that you show. So I do a lot of that. I don't do all of it, but I did a lot of it. And how I did it originally was okay. So I was in real estate like 10 years ago. And so when I was there, I did some things that taught me like pretty much how to build a website and how to do certain things. Right. So the first thing I did is I built a website, and then I went on and I did all, like social marketing uh, sites, and just kind of did all the online presence. And after I did that, I already started seeing people like here and there start to contact me. So I think I did that pretty well. And I think on each of those sites, you just want to really fill out and do
Which
everything.
which sites did you use in the beginning? Like
So
Facebook?
I created a website, and then I did Google My Business, and Google My Business, I implemented like everything that they ask you to do. I
Hmm.
did. And I learned that from doing eBay, because on eBay, if eBay tells you, hey, you want to sell this item, you want to put it on sale, put out a coupon, enter all your item specifics and this and that. And I started realizing all these sites, they give you all these things to do because that's what they want you to do. So what I
Right.
learned was, if you want to do really well on a platform, do what they ask you to do, just because they want you to do it, and they'll promote you more, right? So for example, Google My Business, I do everything. I do the updates, I do the
Mhm.
special offers, I do pictures, I upload the photos. When I upload the photos, I even name the photos, junk removal, Columbus, Ohio,
Uh-huh.
bed removal,
Looking at
whatever.
you.
Yeah, I
Trying to
mean,
be all up on your
yeah.
GMB SEO.
Yeah, and I'm not a big computer guru, but that's what I was trying to do. I just everything by the numbers, and I just started putting everything in there. I was gonna buy reviews, but I didn't. The closest thing I came to doing that was asking other junk removal people, "Hey, let's exchange some reviews."
Yeah.
And I think I did like 5 or 6 of those, but all the rest
So
of them have been organic.
so just your first business in the beginning was just online stuff,
Just
just
doing
on.
that, and then yeah, and then, I bought yard signs, and I put out yard signs. Those were horrible at first. I was really disappointed with the performance. They've gotten better, and I've learned how to put them out.
Cool.
But being on those social media sites and posting got me a few deals, and then when I started marketing online, that really helped me take off. I lost a lot of traction with ClickSkeek. I know other people perform well with it.
Yeah, no,
Um,
I've been getting mixed. This is something we'll dive into in a minute too, is ClickSkeek and performance, and maybe we'll talk about yours too, the one that you're using. But I have one other question before maybe we answer a few people's questions, is what's your biggest month so far? And not including the selling of this 15, 17,000, excluding reselling, like what's your biggest month so far in junk removal gross sales?
yeah, 38,000.
38. Damn, high five,
Yeah.
bro. That's and what month was that? What month?
Last month.
So January, February. So on your fourth month, you did
Yeah.
38 grand gross.
Yeah, but it was because of the cleanouts. The cleanouts really boosted it. So I don't have any cleanouts this month. I'm not. I wanted to look at the numbers before we got on the call, because I knew these questions would probably come up. But I don't know where my projection is this month, because I've had my head down trudging so long. I go out and I do all my jobs, and then I come home and I put on videos, and then I
Yeah,
pass out. You know what I mean? So, and I get up in the mornings and I do my shipping and my eBay. So
that
it's a
is
vicious
that's
cycle.
impressive, man.
But yeah,
I
I
mean,
review my numbers once a month, and yeah, it's going pretty good. I don't know if I'm going to reach that this month or not. That includes my jobs. It doesn't include my tips. It doesn't include resale.
right,
So
right on. Just
yeah,
gross sales.
right.
So I guess let's start going down. We do have a few of these questions. Can you see
Yeah,
the
I saw
question
a
that I
few.
pinned?
What's that?
Do you see the question that I pinned? Do you see that, like by raising Cleo the cat, or no?
No.
I'll just read it then, because I pinned it to StreamYard, so the comment shows on top of our video. But if you don't see it, raising Cleo the cat
Oh,
asks,
there. Oh, okay. I thought that was an ad.
"Nope, right? Do you see it?
Yeah, I see it.
I'll just let you give a quick yes or no and why."
Okay. No. I looked into dumpster rentals pretty extensively. I've had people tell me it's a dying business. I've also had people tell me junk removal is a dying business, to be fair. But I don't like it because it's a set amount, and it's a price race to the bottom. Anybody who is willing to do their own work and fill the dumpster, they're pretty educated in the industry, or they're just willing to do the work themselves. And whenever they do that, it's not as profitable.
I'll
That's
answer
honestly
now.
wise, because I don't feel like you can make as much, and you
Yeah,
need a plot of land. You got to have a place to put all your dumpsters, and there's going to come a lot of headaches. I know for a fact people are going to put stuff in there that you're going to have to deal with. They're going to hide paint in there knowing they can't put it in. They're going to put half yard waste and say they didn't know they weren't supposed to. I have
Yeah.
seen so many it's very problematic. I like to be
Raising
in control.
Raising
And you,
Cleo the cat, it's probably going to be a no for me too, because from my understanding, you need a massive inventory to make just as much as you would off one truck of junk removal. So
yep.
one truck in junk removal can make me 50 to 70 grand a month. On the low end, 30 grand a month. Meanwhile, to achieve those numbers with dumpster rental, I think you would need an inventory of 10, 20 dumpsters, some land, and then of course you're going to just be dealing with the issues that he said. Can you make money from dumpster rental? Of course, but you kind of have to commit on which one you're going to do first, and focus on that one until it's automated before adding another one. But at the end of the day, I think I'd rather buy another $50,000 to $100,000 truck, launch another location, than buy 20 dumpsters. However, do I know anything about dumpster rental? No, that's just kind of what I, saw from other YouTubers. Let's go to the next question. My city. What is this one? My city requires full ownership of equipment in order to have business. What? Wait, my city requires full ownership of equipment in order to have business decals so that we get wasteful. If we were low on cash, would you get started without the license? So this is a. I'll jump in on this one, and then you can
Yeah.
too. He's saying your city, Salim, your city requires full ownership. Oh, if this is the Salim that I think it is when we're talking, call me later, because I don't know if that's really true in Colorado. Full ownership of equipment.
Does that mean you have to own it and not finance it? Is that what he's saying?
Yeah, I think maybe he's talking about renting it. I mean, I think if a waste hauler's license is required, I'm a gambler at heart. I don't gamble anymore. I used to love poker and blackjack. I've always risked everything in business. Is that smart? No. But if I was low on cash and I needed to do a couple jobs, a couple clean outs, and I needed to go rent a U-Haul truck and it required a license, I'm the type of guy who would take that risk. Can the city fine you $10,000, $20,000 and it's going to actually go through and you actually go to court and all that stuff? Maybe. That's my answer. I'm a risk it for the biscuit type of guy. What about you, my man?
Yeah, waste hauler's license. It's always better to be above board and to get that license for many reasons. Because as soon as you upset somebody, the first thing they do is they come at you and say, "I know you're not operating above board. I'm going to report you." It's the first thing. It's the first thing they try and do to retaliate if you make somebody mad or if things don't go their way. So, and it's always best. I mean, if you're going to be in business to do that, be in business. The license, your first job will pay off the license fee usually.
See, he's a smarter man than me. But yes, if you truly can't get your license, man, just try your hardest to get your license. But if you have a couple jobs on the books, just be careful. But yeah, Otis says the Clover Flex. Hell yeah, man. I swear by it. I try to tell everybody not to do the phone. I think my man Dave also agrees.
This last week we did about no, not 1,000. I'm sorry. The prior 2 weeks combined, we did 1,000 in tips. This week, I think we did 500 something.
Yeah,
It was insane. We get so many tips. People tip on that thing.
It's ridiculous. And this one's directed towards you, Dave. Can you do you see that one?
What was your advertising in the first 3 months that let you grow so quickly? Okay. So advertising, man, I threw kind of everything because I was doing like, I right now we have like embroidered polos and hats. Before I did printed off Vistaprint. I tried to do everything as cheap as possible, but like I had to put down like so much money. I lost 10,000 for that truck. Then I had to put down another 10 in cash just to buy the truck that I have now, and get the graphics. The reason I did like banners instead of graphics, I'm sure you guys have seen those signs. One, I had to build wood up on the side of the truck. That costed money. The truck actually soaked in the most of my money. Aside from that, I bought signs. I did business cards and I did flyers and things like that.
Did you do door hangers or no in the beginning?
It wasn't door. Now I do door hangers and I like those. But and there's a reason I switched to those. But I was doing flyers and I was putting those in mailboxes. And I don't like gray area. And one of the guys was telling me, "Hey, that's probably not right. You're not supposed to do that." And I thought, well, if he's willing to tell me that, these customers are probably going to say something at some point too. And I can't have guys doing that. So
Right.
like I can't hire crews and have them go out and do something that's not right, you know? So anyway, because technically you're not supposed to. However, with door hangers, it's kind of I think those are better. So like if you can't run and put those inside of a on a door, sometimes we'll slip those in a mailbox or we'll slip them under the rug in front of
Right.
the door or something like that. To answer the question about the marketing, online was my most expensive, and I went to Clicks Geek and I was getting a lot of leads and it was working. What failed on ClicksGeek is something changed. They changed something on my account. I don't know what happened. All my leads shut off. It was on fire for a while. When they stopped coming in, I took it into my own hands. And what really works well for me is Google local service ads. So
Yeah.
local service ads are what fed me while ClicksGeek was collecting. And anyways, I tried getting them to fix it. I've done some videos. I don't want to like sit here and talk about that,
Yeah.
talk
Well,
down about them,
yeah.
because I know
Yeah.
some people do really well with them. But that's how it
Yeah.
was for me. The online ads, how I look is like Andrew said, I don't like gambling. I like knowing, hey, if I'm going to put $40 out, that I'll at least get 100, back. So that's why I like the Google local service ads, and then finding a good company that when you get your calls, they're good leads. And I have my company that I also did a video on with Perfect Click that does really well. And honestly, this last week they were on fire. Like
Hell yeah.
yeah, it
I
was good.
and just so you guys know, I am actually testing Perfect Click too, but I'm not going to talk about it yet. I need more results. But this next question is directed towards you again, my man. Can you see it from Brandon Peckham?
Yeah. How did I scale my business to get to 5+ jobs a day? Started in January. It's been steady but not consistent. Each week fluctuates. So, Brandon, I don't know what area you're in. There's a few things that you would want to look at. One is your population size. You want to make sure that it can support it. I think somebody told me that per million, what does that support? Like per truck, like something thousand. Do you have
Yeah,
those numbers, Andrew?
no, but I know a 1 million population with Google ads, at least in like for where I'm at, is it can support up to, for me, one truck. And that's just
Yeah.
Google ads. Just running the Google ads can feed one truck. For me
Right.
personally, it doesn't bring 1 million population for Google ads only will not give me enough volume to run two trucks. I've maxed out my ceiling. Like
Right.
there's no more to spend. Now that's just Google ads though. Like that
Yeah.
doesn't mean there's other way more forms of advertising
So if
than
you
just
don't have the
Google.
population, you want to spread out so that you're servicing that kind of population or the most you can. Let's say that
Yep.
your population is there, though. How you scale is you want your inputs. You have to keep putting your inputs, even when you think you're too busy. You don't want to put signs out, put the signs out. If you don't want to do, I flyer every house that we service. I do the surrounding houses because people are always looking out their window, finding out what the neighbor's doing. Right. So even when you're super busy, still put in those inputs. When it's super slow, do the inputs. You just every day you go to work, like, you're there and you're not doing jobs, we'll go out and put signs. I remember one week I put out 100 signs. And
Dang.
yeah, I
Nice.
put out 100 signs. We started getting calls.
Yep.
So it's your inputs, your daily inputs. I think a lot of people want to be self-employed, but don't really understand how to do it.
Yep.
And how you do it is you go out and you busy yourself as if you're on the clock, because you're on the clock for yourself. So you need to go out and do those things. And that's my recommendation. I slowly built up to it because I was putting in those inputs. You also want to have something that sends you leads. I think that you need something making your phone ring consistently, like some type of advertising, whether it be Facebook or Google, something to send you, a few deals. So that would be my recommendation. I hope that helps.
Yeah, and I'll chime in because Brandon and Wayne Hall asked the same question. You obviously want one of the two sources, one of the two. There's three big daddies out there, guys. There's three. And all of them work because I see different guys who have made all three work. Now, I am going to soon perfect all three and share it with you guys. You have Google. Google's number one. You have Yelp, and there's people who are killing it on Yelp. There's one of my guys here in he's got 500 Yelp reviews, 400 fucking Google. It's ridiculous. He's killing Yelp, and he's in the Discord channel. But Yelp is a different beast. You got to learn how to conquer. Then you have Facebook. These are the three rivers. right, guys? So you need to pick, most people pick Google because that's just direct. I need junk removal now. And then with those, once you master one of those rivers going, you can't stop all of the other stuff. You can't stop the
Can I
Facebook.
chime in on that,
Yeah,
Andrew?
go ahead.
Real quick. So I have found what Andrew just said to be true, like very true. Google, the people who call from Google want business now, and that's key. And there's tons of them there, and I
Mhm.
agree with that. The trick is just making sure that you find that company that feeds you off of those, or do it yourself off the local service ads. But Google is like a big one. Yeah, I
Yep.
agree with that.
And mastering Facebook isn't like, yes, it's going to be lower quality leads because it's older people looking to reconnect with their friends and they're passively scrolling, but that's still a river of leads, right? I like to call like them a river, a constant flowing river. The three guys: Yelp, Google, Facebook. Most people do Google because Google's the easiest to master. It's expensive, but it's the easiest. Yelp and Facebook, however, it takes a little bit more time and effort, but Yelp brings some serious traffic, and it's you messaging. And if you could figure out how to, and it's kind of we'll get into the details. I don't want to talk, I can go on forever, but once you do one of those three, don't stop with the flyers. There's USPS EDDM, which is every door direct mail. You can sell, pick different neighborhood routes. You can do in-person sales to assisted living facilities. You just can't
I
stop.
just did those, by the way. I just sent out a volley of those to try it out, and those will hit next week. So
Let me
if
know. I make a
I'll
video on
put
it.
it in my
I'm
video.
curious.
Yeah, I'll put it in my
Thank
video.
you. Thank you, Troll Hunter. Apparently, we are two of the greatest guys in the business. That says a lot. And special
Awesome.
shout out to Mount. You can't
Thanks
forget
for all.
the OG in the business. Sonoma Strong. Kame Hall asks, Andrew and Dave, as you grew in the business, did you ever have to raise your prices on repeat customers? That's for me. Dave, you can, I don't know if this has happened to you, but no, I have never raised prices on repeat customers, and I never will, because I would rather have their business, even if my prices went up, which just hasn't, I haven't had to do this, but if my prices went up and a repeat customer called me and I came back and they're like, no, but last time your prices, I would probably honor the last time prices.
Yeah.
That's just, I would rather keep that customer than lose them over 50 to 100 bucks.
Also, you're pretending that we're selling ice cream or burgers. It's not like a burger costs $1.99 and an ice cream costs 60 cents or something like that. Gosh,
Yep.
man, they're probably a lot more than that. But you get my point. Like,
Yeah.
they're like, well, hey, my last load was 500, and now you're trying to charge me 600. It really is volume based, so it's really hard to make that comparison. A lot of times they won't even know. Like, Andrew could raise his prices, they wouldn't know this next time that he showed up,
Yeah.
unless they were like really, tuned into it, hey, last time we did a full load, now this time your full load is $50 more. I'm sure Andrew would just knock off the $50, and so would
Uh-huh.
I. But it's not like, hey, I'm here for a burger and fries. Last week it was $5, today it's 6. It doesn't work that way. So normally what you're going to experience, they're not going to see a fluctuation in price. They're just going to say, hey, last time it was this time it's that.
Yep, I agree, man. And this is more of a question for you because I haven't started yard signs yet. I
Oh,
need to work. Yeah.
yard signs definitely have a strategy. Okay, I'm just going to give you a few of the quick pointers that I've learned. Number one, people are they like to own their yards, so don't put yard signs. If a yard goes up and there's a sidewalk and then some grass, they usually still consider that their yard. You put a sign out there, they're going to get ornery, they're going to go and they're going to pull it. So try and find areas that have like street signs, and you could put it by the street sign or the telephone pole. Also, when you have intersections that are a T, I call them like a T-bone intersection. What I do is I put the sign here facing where the people are going to drive up and they have to make a left or a right.
Hmm.
They'll see it across the street. And the reason I do that is because that portion of the street is really hard to get to. So yes, you have to find a way to park, cross the street and go put it there. But so does anybody else who wants to pull your sign. And anybody making a left or right is going to have to sit there and look at it the entire time. So I like T-bone intersections. Those get a lot of action. Don't put it outside of apartment complexes or places that have manicured lawns and like the walls with like the name on the wall or anything like that, because they have people who are hired that have to take care of that. They'll yank your sign. Don't put it out in front of city officials because they'll yank your sign. If you get called on a sign like in the city and they're like, hey, you can't put your sign here, right? Okay, fine. Try to find the borders of that city and put it right out in the county. because they all have different people that represent them. So these are things that you can do that will help your signs stay longer. And then put your signs in areas that are profitable, that you don't mind driving. It's not very far, and that's where I would start. And you can learn signs in your area. I hope that helps.
And a tip that I've learned, I haven't started yard signs, but I'm about to order 1,000 or 2,000 here any day now. I just haven't done it because I'm in the middle of rehiring. I got a lot going on. But I saw Google this guy, YouTube this video, how to put bandit signs up higher with a staple gun. You can make a custom stapler gun, and you could it's like you get the PVC pipe. Just YouTube it. It's really cool.
So what I've seen when you do that is, if they really don't want you to put the sign, they're going to call you, and they'll call the sheriff, and the sheriff will make you take it down.
Okay,
Well, I mean, it's up to you. You got to learn your area. That's a good idea, but
use it at your own. Just be careful. But it's a good trick.
And kind of like that one that Andrew just said. But what people do is they use zip ties, and they zip tie them to a sign, like a stop sign or something like that. People do that a lot around here. It seems to stick, but I don't know.
Chris Jordan, let's see. You've been in the biz for 1 year. Absolutely horrible. But ever since you started doing Google Ads and we fixed up your website, it's been incredible. Awesome. Good job, man. Hell yeah. Michael Sand, what is that license you are talking about? If you're talking about the waste hauler license, that's a state by state, county by county thing. Yeah. You need to just look into it. Let's see. Any other questions directly? Mr. Shag. What's up, Shag? How do you get started in the business if you have no investment capital? Any ideas or suggestions on that one, Dave?
The first couch that I hauled was comical. Should have got pulled over. But I had this old SUV. It was like this old Toyota 4Runner, and it had a sunroof. And it was like a 3-piece couch. I put 2 pieces in the back, and then the sunroof. I was holding it up to the top, driving.
Wait, on top of an SUV?
Yeah, holding it through the sunroof.
That's awesome.
So the answer is find a way. Find a way to just get started. If you have no investment capital, there's something you can haul. There's something you could haul, and that's kind of a really tough question, because no investment capital. Well, what do you have? Do you own a truck? Do you have any way of getting a trailer, like at all? Like my first trailer I got was free. I had a neighbor who had one in the grass, and I said, "Hey, if I pull that, can I use it?" And he's like, "You can even have it," and I pulled it out and just kind of did a little work on it myself to get the boards right. And that was my 4x6 trailer I started with. So,
and I'll chime in too. So you have a couple options, right? You can stack up jobs, post on Craigslist, stack up jobs, and go rent a Home Depot or U-Haul for $20 to $100, depending on the length of time. But what I did is I texted everybody in my phone. I was desperate. I hit everybody up in my phone, asking if they had a truck I could borrow. One of the last people I hit up in my phone was my mom. My mom had a handyman, this sweet little innocent guy that comes over and helps her out, fixes things. This handyman, he was planning on starting a moving business, and he had his box truck. It had graffiti all over it. He bought this beat up box truck that was bright yellow with graffiti on it, and it was just sitting. So I got really lucky, but you don't know if you don't ask. I probably texted 40 people. Do you have a truck I can borrow? You might get lucky.
See, you texted like 40 people?
Huh?
You texted like 40 people?
Everybody in my phone, I asked if they had a truck I could borrow for a couple weeks. So you just got to put yourself out there. And then my mom had a handyman. My mom asked her handyman. Her handyman had, and I got lucky. He rented that box truck out to me for $400 a month. And that's in one of my first YouTube video. I talk about it, but you can always find a way, man, whether you strap a couch to the top of an SUV, or you ask people to, loan you their car just so you can do a few jobs, or you
I've seen junk removal guys make it out of cardboard. They don't even care. They'll black marker on cardboard and stick it in the ground. So like signs,
Yeah. So the short answer is Shag, you gotta find a way, because you can start super cheap, like super cheap. Why don't you hire Michael asks, why don't you hire a professional doing your marketing? Why don't you?
Can I answer that one?
Yeah, go. Yeah, go
So
ahead.
so I do. I think he's asking me anyway because I did it my website and I did it online because Andrew, you did hire somebody eventually.
Yeah.
But I think that's why I wanted to answer it because Andrew didn't do it right away, and I haven't done it yet. And I think it's because that's more long term. And I will hire that out eventually. Just and Andrew did recently, and he is trying to get his SEO up. I think what are you, number 4 in LA now?
Yeah, number 4 or 5. It bounces around from 4 to
Yeah.
6, but
So
super
so so
competitive.
Yeah, exactly. I think SEO is more long term, and so most people, when they're first starting, they want to invest in something that's going to give them a quick return because they don't have much money. And SEO is long term. You know,
Yep. Have you started SEO at all or not yet?
the only okay. So what I do for SEO is I do all my social media, and I connect all my social media to each other and to my website,
But have you
and then
started like the hardcore SEO or not yet?
no.
Okay, cool. I mean, it's SEO in time. It's definitely a long-term thing that takes time and it will work.
Yeah, people are finding me online already, but I'm not ranking.
Go ahead. You would know more about this one because I have yet to do Facebook. Renardia English.
Yes, I do have some tips. So, and Renardi, I think you asked me some questions. You found me on my channel. I had some questions here I was going to cover for you that you had asked me. I what was it? But anyways, I'll answer this one first, and because I had saved a question from you, but I believe it was you. So when it comes to Facebook ads, I've been learning some things, and I actually last week I got $5,000 in jobs just from Facebook, which was real.
Damn.
Yeah, it's huge. Hey, but it wasn't like that at first, and I figured out a few tricks that help, tips and tricks. So number one, I don't know if you guys saw my latest video about no textimates. So Facebook was like king for that. Everybody is sending me photos and just they message. It's really hard to get them on the phone, and I figured out what works. You just gotta like in my last video, I just tell them, hey, let's talk and discuss that. If they won't talk to you on the phone, I don't talk to them. I don't waste my time. But when it comes to Facebook ads, there's a couple things that I found. Number one, I don't do video. I think video, a lot of people, when they scroll, it's muted, so they don't hear it anyway. And when it is playing, it starts to play, and you have to catch their attention super quick. So I just do pictures, and that's what works for me. Now, the best pictures that work are like two of us standing in front of a truck, smiling, maybe our arms crossed, and you got the logo, something that says junk. Just the word junk, So I kind of did that on my truck. The other thing that works is a picture of two people carrying something because their eyes go to, hey, they're carrying something, right?
That
So
makes sense.
those two photos work. And then what really works on Facebook ads is when you get a review on Facebook, you super service people and they'll go on there and they'll be like, hey, I use them. They're great. And when they do that, when they put that on your post, because what I do is I boost posts. I don't pay for the ads, by the way. So when that post gets a review, I'll focus on that and I will boost it and boost it. And then I'll get more reviews. And the more reviews you get on each boosted post, the more people will want to use you. And
Wait,
then
you can get a review on a post, or do you mean a review on your actual business profile?
both. But
I-
yes. So,
Interesting.
so what I found works best is boost your post. So create a post. And what I'm experimenting with is to get bigger jobs is I'm going to create one post that focuses just on like a hoarder clean out. And I'm
Okay.
going to boost that post until it only takes one of those to pay off.
Right.
I mean, I only right now have been doing like 200 a week, and it shows how much of the return I got on it. So
Awesome.
you asked me, Andrew, at one point, you were like, how come you haven't blown up Facebook yet? Well, I'm about to. And I
Yeah.
just kind of figured out what worked. So that's what I'm
Yeah,
going to do.
because I think I asked you that because you said Facebook has been working for you. So I was like, why don't you scale it? Just crank
Yeah,
it.
why don't you scale it? And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, now I'm going to. But as soon as you get reviews, when you get reviews and likes, that's people will see that, and then more people will do it. So try to boost those ones and get more people on the bandwagon.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a snowball effect. So.
Awesome.
Oh, I'm
Dave,
sorry. One more thing, because they asked about demographics. One thing that I did is I did ages 30 plus, and then I did people who were interested in like moving, storage, cleaning, like they're cleaning their houses and things like that. You can actually select all that. Uh, be careful when you set up your ads to look at every little thing. I did 19 miles from me in a circular area, and then like people who are interested in organizing, I figure they're probably going to want to get rid of their junk. It's been working.
Nice. Right on, man. Good tips.
Yeah.
I've yet to really experiment with Facebook because I've just been running Google so aggressively, but I'm going to soon. I don't know about this. What about you, Dave? Works 99 asks.
Field pulse. Never heard of it. Sorry. I wish I could help there.
And this is another Dave question. CA asks.
About 100 lawn signs.
Oops. Let me put it back. Go ahead.
I put out maybe 15. They're working very well. That's awesome. Should I just put them all out and order more? How busy do you want to be?
Yeah.
You know, if you've got the time, put them out, man. Be careful that you don't over blanket one small area because you'll get called and they'll be like, go pull them up, right? I mean, if the job is pretty big where, you know, you put out 20 signs within a 4-block radius, you're probably going to get called and they're going to make you go pull all those up. And yes, it's the sheriff who calls you, you know, or the police, you know, they're the ones who will do that and follow up with you.
Has the sheriff called you yet?
I haven't got a call, but lots of other guys I talked to have. I
Nice.
spread mine out. So even when I did those 100 signs, I did those like out between like different cities and counties. I make sure to follow the city and county line. So if I'm going to put them in multiple areas, I'll put like 3 on county and then 3 on city, you know, and right there. And yeah, but anyways, it's up to you. If you, however busy you want to be, if you can gauge what kind of calls you're getting off each sign, then you'll know, hey, 15 signs gets me, you know, 5 calls a day. So put out 30 signs, you'll get 10 calls. It's how busy you want to be, right?
Yep. And that's what I was going to say, man. CA, just if you want to stay continuously busy and the signs are paying themselves, you said they're working very well. Put out 100, spread them out, and just keep doing that every week. That's my plan, is 50 per week per location. When I get mine, I'm going to order 1,000 to 2,000. Michael Sand says, sorry, another question. What do you guys do with your employees when there's free time between jobs? Do you keep them on the clock?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah. So I have Logan and I pay him by the hour. The other guys that I hired temporarily, I keep them all in the hour. And I treat them really good. And you know what? The next time I got one of those big jobs, they bailed on the other guys to come work for me.
Yeah. You know, we try to stay busy so there's not much downtime, but it happens. Jobs cancel, reschedule. Usually I should have my guys like go put out yard signs or go do in-person sales or go do door hangers. But generally they're just chilling, waiting for the next job. But that's usually because most days we do have like 5 to 10 jobs. You know, we'll have some days that are slower where the day ends early, but you usually, you know, when you hire an employee and they actually take over full time, you're probably going to have a good amount of jobs per day, because if you're hiring somebody, you're probably starting to get a few jobs a day. So have them just, if there's a little bit of downtime, door hangers and yard signs, man, is my recommendation.
Yep.
You know, it'd be nice. Have them have a little bit extra long of a lunch. If you're killing it, let them enjoy their lunch, because I know my guys probably hate me sometimes because we'd be packed and they could barely squeeze in a lunch.
Yeah, I know Logan is awesome about that. No matter what we got going on, like I get so busy sometimes, and Logan's like, I did all the flyers and hangers. I'm like, when?
So. Right. And this is a question for you, Dave. You might know a little bit more about this. I think it's the guy asking the yard signs question.
I think they're just making a statement. They're saying it is against bylaw.
Oh, it is again. I thought he was asking. Okay.
Yeah.
This one's for me. Let's see, Andrew. At what point in the business does one know when to hire their first employee? So, how I look at it is, if you're on it's completely different when you're off the truck and when you're on the truck, you kind of need somebody to help you regardless. So you could do most jobs by yourself, yes, but I would say as soon as you're getting 1 or 2 jobs a day, I would get your first employee as soon as you can, because you don't want to hurt yourself. Doing this stuff by yourself, I mean, even if you get somebody who's only helping you 4 hours a day, every day, you know, part-time, because I would say at least a job a day is probably worthy of having somebody at your side. Wouldn't you say?
It depends on, are you going all in, Wayne? Are you like Is this what you're going to do? Like, because if it is, get that person working with you and market and get the jobs in. But if you're doing it part-time, you got to understand that if you're hiring somebody, you're asking them to kind of like wait on you and, oh, you got a job, hey, I'll come. And people need money, so like they're going to find other avenues while they're waiting on you to pick up another job. That's kind of tough. So like it really depends on like if you're jumping in full time, then yeah, grab another employee and work harder for more jobs. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
But
what I would
but
do, is definitely have somebody to help you. You don't want to do this alone in the beginning.
yeah.
First few jobs, sure, but you're definitely going to want people to help you. But if the question is when to hire your first employee and you're going to be off the truck, this is where you got to do some basic math. Can you average 3 jobs a day? And what's your average job size? Are you going to make money from paying 2 guys on the truck to run full time, 8 hours a day? How many jobs do you need to average per day? Once you start averaging that many jobs per day, you can get off the truck and have 2 guys run it, and you can then not be an owner operator anymore. And
And I think it was you, Andrew, that said, I think wasn't it that you said, like, because you started by yourself and you would show up to jobs and you'd be like, oh, my guy called in today.
yep, yep,
Yeah.
all the time. I would just make up an excuse to appear professional that I had somebody else and just say like, "Oh, my guy called in." And then I mean, I was getting guys off Craigslist to help me. And I still use Craigslist to this day. But Wayne, I hope that answers your question. Just be careful if you're doing your first few jobs alone. Don't get hurt. And actually, I want to put a shout out to Clutter Reduction. Clutter Reduction has a very good channel as well. If you're solo and you're doing jobs by yourself, he has
Yeah, he
good
does
safety.
all alone, doesn't he?
He does it all alone. He's got really good safety tips on there.
He even
So
did a piano by himself. I saw that
yeah,
one.
yeah, he's and then oh guys, by the way, make sure to check out Dave's channel. I know it's a late plug over here. If any of you guys don't know Dave, he does really cool videos that I can't do because he's still owner operator. But correct me if I'm wrong. I think you're about to get off the truck, but he does really cool day in the life videos of him on the truck. And what separates him from other channels, guys, is he actually tells you the numbers, like each job, how much it costs, and then how much money he made. And he's very detailed about his process through the day, which other channels don't do. So I wish I could do that, but I'm off the truck now. So mine's more logistical and back end that I talk about and share secrets that way. And let's see, we got Stan here from the Discord, guys. This is the moderator of my Discord channel. This is Mr. Nice Guy. What's up, Stan? Let's see. I wasn't able. Here you go. Let's see. I wasn't able to figure out how to make a website. Don't have money to pay someone $2,000. I only have Facebook. Hey, what? Hey, I think you made your website, right? Can you jump in on this one, Dave?
Yeah. So, if you can't figure out how to make a website, yeah, Facebook would be really good because I don't think people visit my website on off of Facebook. Maybe they do, maybe they don't, but you can still pick up a lot of business off of Facebook until you get some money in to
Well,
have a site.
didn't you build your own website?
I did.
Yeah. So how did you because I use Wix, but you use something different. Definitely don't pay someone $2,000 to build a website. How did you build yours?
So I was in real estate 10 years ago, and I learned how to build a site because I paid like a lot of money for a big program,
Mhm.
and it was something ridiculous. I think I paid like $8,000 or whatever. But anyways, I learned how to build a site and how to turn a site into lead funnel, how to lead funnel on your site, which I'm
Yeah,
sure you're
click
very familiar with.
funnels and all those funnels.
That's probably basic for you. But for me, it took a lot, but I learned how to do it. And my website, every page on it is built like a funnel, like a lead funnel in that way. So I learned it that way. But I think what he's saying is he doesn't have the money for a site. All I have is Facebook. Well, I would do what I said earlier, and I don't know if you were on this call earlier when we talked about Facebook, but I would create like have somebody take a picture of you and somebody else, even if you don't have anybody else. Uniform. So get a shirt or two. It will pay itself off. Get a shirt, get a hat, look dressed the same. Have somebody take a picture and use that, make a post, and make sure you hit all the keywords in there, that you haul junk, the city and state that you do it in. Facebook gives you a page for free. All the social media sites give you a page for free. So just connect those together. You don't have to necessarily have a website. I mean, you do, but to get business from Facebook, you don't have to. And that's what I would do.
Yeah, and last thing I'll chime in on the website is honestly, the website is the least important thing to getting business in the beginning. You're going to be doing Facebook groups. You're going to be doing Facebook. You're in general posts. You're going to be doing Google
Oh,
My.
that's a good one. Yeah, the Facebook groups and posts. Mhm.
You're going to be doing Nextdoor, Google My Business, Craigslist. You're going to be, even if you run ads, you might send it to a landing page. Honestly, the website is a luxury long term, just makes you look good, but you do not need a website to get business. And honestly, you're not going to get any business from your website till later down the road when you start, you know, building up a brand. Your leads will come from all kinds of other places. Another one for you right here. Oh, I don't think you did. You said you did have a trailer. Is this?
So I had a trailer out in Oregon. Is kind of how I started hauling stuff because one of the things that really helped me is knowing how to pack, how to tie down, use straps, like how to do furniture, how to do appliances, how to do small items and
Uh-huh.
things like that, right? And I was doing a lot of hauling, trying to resell it out there on the West Coast. But as far as like, hey, I'm a junk removal business and that's what I do, I started that out here. So when I was out west, yeah, I had a little 4x6 trailer and I was hauling it with a little SUV. First, I started with just the SUV at first. And what I did is I put the seats down and anything that fit in the back there went. So
Yeah. And I guess I'll chime in on this too. What does he mean by button?
I think that's a typo. I think that's a typo. I think it means
Okay.
scale up your
To a
trailer to
box
a
truck.
truck.
Okay.
That's what I imagine is what, yeah.
If you're gonna, this is just my recommendation. If you're gonna scale from a utility trailer, thinking about a button or a box
Yeah,
truck.
they wrote it again. I'm not sure I understand that
Okay,
one. I've never
so if you're talking about scaling from a utility trailer to something with hydraulics, a dump truck or a dump trailer, I would avoid a box truck at all costs if you can. I would, if you can pull a trailer, I would recommend pulling a dump trailer. You could finance a dump trailer for 150 bucks a month. That's how I did in the beginning. You could pay cash. Mine was brand new, 7 grand, 8 grand out the door. Financed it with bad credit. We still got it for like 150, 160 bucks a month. Your next purchase, I think, should be a dump trailer, not a box truck. That's my recommendation, unless you're in somewhere like LA and it's congested and you just can't get around. But if you're already pulling around a trailer, that tells me you could probably, that's my suggestion. I would avoid the box truck at all costs and just get a dump trailer. Oh, the magic button. Is that what he's okay? He says the magic. Wait.
Oh, he's calling button meaning automatic dumping. So
Yeah,
to a
yeah.
dump.
Okay, so okay, I've never heard
If
it.
you
Yeah, upgrading to the button. Yes, upgrade to the button when you can. Well,
Yeah,
um,
if you can get a dump like he
oh,
said,
sorry. Okay, so I forgot to answer the question. When to scale up, bro? If you can afford 150 bucks a month, scale up immediately. It'll do wonders on your back. You need one job to pay for that $150. I found a trailer dealer, financed it for 150 bucks through the trailer, and it was 100. It was actually like 160 and change. It's worth every fucking penny. On your back, on your time, everything. Now, that's my suggestion.
yeah, if you can so I knew because I had done so much before. I was like, you know what? I know I want to dump. I don't want to put my hands on these things twice. I believe that I'm able to scale up and do 6 or 7 jobs a day because I can dump. As a matter of fact, if you watch my videos, I use the transfer stations in Columbus, and in order to do that, you have to go through 3 grueling months of collecting up your receipts, getting a DUNS number, getting enough of the trips and tonnage so that you can qualify to pass
Yep.
the application to use the transfer stations. And should you pass all those, they still require you to have a professional truck that dumps, not a trailer. And so I wouldn't even be able to do everything that I did if I didn't have that. I'm very thankful that I did do that, and I would recommend getting a dump truck. That's what I would recommend. If you can't get a dump truck, a dump trailer, like Andrew said, yeah.
We got
As
2
soon as you can
questions
afford it.
left. You good on time, Dave? So we're
I'm
a
good.
little over an hour now, so let's just knock out these last questions. And
Sure.
guys, we're gonna probably wrap up here soon, and we'll answer these last few questions. You want to take this one, Dave?
Any tips for demoing a large wood frame shed with a shingled roof? Yes. bring enough batteries with enough battery juice. I believe in the batteries, not the plug-in, because you don't want to ask somebody to use their electricity. I don't think it's professional. I think that's like showing up and asking to use their tools.
Yeah.
And then and also, yeah, and then you show up to an agent who's selling the house, and they're like, "Well, this house doesn't have power. It's not plugged in yet," right?
Yeah.
So batteries, and then you want to have powerful batteries. And I use the Milwaukee 6.0, the 5.0 for the 18, the M18 batteries that are 6.0, 5.0. They're expensive, but they're
Do you use a
worth it.
Sawzall do you use a Sawzall for?
I'm sorry. Yes, I use the Sawzall. So what you're going to go through is batteries and blades. The shingles will eat up your batteries and blades. So make sure you have enough blades. Make sure you got enough batteries. It depends on how many shingles are on there. You want to chop it up into sections. If it's wood framed, so there are lots of videos. There's two ways to break down a shed. Start at the top by cutting the roof and work your way down to the walls, or start by using a sledge or something and bang out the wall siding and then knock the shed over. Those are the two ways. So it's really tough because if the shed is right next to a house or next to a fence or between the two, you can't do the knockdown. You have to do it from the top to the bottom. Those are the tips I can think of.
Do you have any advice on this one? Mr. Wayne Hall asks, Facebook groups. Have you had any luck with Facebook groups and how you did it?
How to prepare ads for those sites you mentioned, Nextdoor, Facebook groups, etc. So yes. So because that's what I do is the social media. So anytime, like I said, that you can get somebody to vouch for you, say that they used you, comment, and which will happen just from using it. Those really help you out whenever somebody can get on there. And what exactly is the question? Any advice regarding how to prepare ads for
Like,
those sites?
how would you get business from Facebook groups? What would
So,
you do?
yeah, preparing ads. So check it out. So there's different groups. Okay, there's contractor groups, which I think Andrew, you agree, they're kind of cheap. I stay away from contractors, but
Yeah.
contractors can bring you business. There's real estate groups, property manager groups. There's organizing, like people join groups to organize their house, and those are usually wealthy people who they're probably want to get rid of a bunch of junk in their house,
That's
organizing
a
stuff.
good one.
Yeah.
I've always joined buy, sell, and yard sales, but I haven't thought of the organizing, finding people who are addicted to organizing groups and getting rid of. That's a good one. I'm gonna have to do
That's what
that.
they do,
Join
yeah,
some groups.
and I've had organizers reach out to me, and they're like, "Hey, I get paid to help people organize their house. You haul junk, and so they save my information." And that's
Yep.
one of the things I was talking about when I do the Facebook ads. The demographics. When you can put they let you pick people who are interested in organizing, moving. I like to join groups for moving, house rentals, because how many times I get called, people are leaving, they want their deposit. So they're willing to pay you $500 to clean out their house to get their $2,000 deposit back, So that's really good. So you moving groups and things like that. But when you join those groups, you can go on Facebook and you can put out an ad. I stopped blanket ads. So I take the time to go to each group and I make an ad that applies to that group. Because what I found is I would write an ad and I would put it in all these groups, and then 5 of them would kick it off right away. They just boot
Yeah.
it off. So what I started doing is I go to each individual group and I just create an ad for that group. It takes a little bit more time, but that's how it's worthwhile.
And Facebook groups, you do have to be careful of the rules. I'm going to say
Yeah, you
probably
do.
half of them or more will like have rules against it. But you'll find that quarter, 25% of the groups that will let you post. But yeah, that's good advice. And Danny asks, any recommendations for social media marketing? With doing social media, I don't have time to make engaging posts.
So on that one, I would recommend it doesn't take much time. I think there's more time in the day than what people think. I think you take enough time. Find a weekend, find one night, because with my strategy, you don't need time. Find a weekend or a night, one time. Just take one time, like to take the photo, a good photo, have somebody take a photo of you carrying something in front of the truck, put that on your computer, write out your information. I mean, you're in business, you got to learn to do that. And I don't mean that in a negative way or trying to talk down to you, but do it one time. to make one good post. You only have to do it once, and then I would boost that post and I would repost it and I'd put it in, and you can even cross-platform it. Because I think that's what you're saying is you don't have a lot of time to be doing posts every day. Well, neither do I. That's why I focus on one post and then I boost that one and I get people to say that they've used me and then keep up with that one.
Yep. And social media marketing, I mean, if you're saying you don't have time, is that because you're already so busy? If you're not busy, then you're going to have to make time. Um,
Agreed.
So if you don't have a whole bunch of jobs per day, you better start making time, because if you don't have the money to run Google ads or get a river flowing, you're going to have to
Yep.
figure something out. Just figure out what, like, in social media, I've come to realize, there's certain pockets of social media that are more beneficial than others. Like, for example, doing TikTok social media is probably not gonna. You might have a video that goes viral, but that's probably not going to bring you a lot of business, right? So, but then you have Instagram, which could, if you go follow real estate groups and homeowners on Instagram, and then Facebook's probably the biggest social media. So I'd make time for Facebook because that can actually bring you leads. So just figure out where to put your energy in which social media. Next door is social media. That's beneficial. I have a friend who runs an auto detailing business. He's got 150 reviews on Nextdoor. His entire auto detailing business survives off of Nextdoor, but that's because he lives and breathes Nextdoor. So just figure out where you want to engage, on which social media platforms, which I think Nextdoor and Facebook is probably your two, where it's going to bring you the most leads. And
Yeah.
yeah.
You get out what you put in. So,
And I guess with that, that is all the questions. Do you have any questions at all for me,
yeah, what's up
Dave?
with your cleaning business, man?
Oh yeah, hey, why don't I actually, so hey
I'm
guys,
interested. I
so
like it because you don't have to leave town to go start a truck in another town. You can just start
so
another side. So I'm
so
interested to see what you got
guys,
going on.
exactly. I am at that point, everybody. I might as well just give you a little bit of info. This is going to be in a video here soon. I'm at that point where, okay, I've acquired my 3 trucks, and I acquired them through shark loans, and that really, I don't know if you watched any of my previous videos, but it cost me a pretty penny to get those trucks because of the shark loans. But I was making a killing, so I was able to pay those shark loans off, for the dump trucks. And I'm at the point where I'm not going to do that again. I'm not going to just throw fucking $5,000-6,000 a month on a shark loan just to finance another dump truck. And I don't have good enough credit to buy another $100,000 dump truck. So that led me into the cleaning business, because not only that, people have been asking me, realtors, constantly, do you know a cleaning business? And I looked into cleaning. So guys, I'm getting heavily invested into cleaning. I'm going to be documenting the process, of me starting this cleaning business, like a sister company to Jedi Junk Removal. So I'm in Jedi Junk Removal and cleaning. Super excited. I'm waiting. Google Local Services have not approved my account yet. There's like some bug in their back end. It's like I'm waiting to get my local services approved. It's been like 3 weeks. So here soon, Dave. I'm going to be going ham though. As soon as those local services ads I can turn on, I'm doing a quick little test, $200-300 a day. I'm going to have my 2 employees ready. I'm just going to see what the ROI is, the ROAS, the return on my ad, the return on my ad spend, and see how the cleaning business goes. But I'm super excited, guys, because I'm going to be documenting the process of me building the cleaning business, on top of running the junk removal business, and should be really cool. I'm super excited. And
I
yeah.
want to see it. I know I'm
And
excited.
I have a question for you guys. If you can comment real quick, are you interested in seeing the cleaning vlogs of me starting a cleaning business on the junk removal channel, or should I start it? Yes or no? Because I'm debating on making a video and saying go follow me on this channel, or is it all related enough? Because you can take a lot of the stuff I'm doing in the cleaning business, they both apply to each other, right? Like the ad strategies and all that stuff. But let me know if that's something that you would like to see, or if I should just put that all on a separate channel. Would you guys not watch my cleaning videos? Is that too off base?
Hey,
But
Andrew.
I'm not stopping junk removal. As soon as as soon as my credit gets up, or I have an extra $100,000, I'm going to go buy a new dump. Because I want to leave you with this: why I'm not doing used dump trucks anymore. When you have employees who rely on you, the used dump truck goes down, everybody loses money. So that's the reason why I can't just go get another $30,000-$40,000 used dump truck, is because when I launch a new location, those employees depend on you. And if that truck goes down, you're fucked. I'm fucked if it goes in the shop. The employees are fucked. They feed their families. I have to buy new dump trucks to ensure that my employees are safe, right? So it's like when I launch a new location, it has to be a new dump truck now because the employees depend on me. Hence the reason why I'm not getting, going to go fourth location, fifth location, sixth location until my credit is better. But I hope that that's going on a tangent. Anyways, do you
Hey
have
man,
any close?
real quick, I would like to see the cleaning on a separate channel just to get my vote in. But while they're voting for that, there was a few people that wrote that I told them I would answer their question real quick. Can you help me with this one?
Let me see. Is there?
No, that these are questions that people wrote me that I told
Oh,
them.
question. Oh yeah, just
Yeah,
drill
yeah, yeah.
through them.
So,
Drill
so
through
this
them.
one I thought would be a
Hey,
good one for
do
you
you mind?
because you know how to do this. Steve Bass, what's that?
Are you just going to kind of go through the questions? Do you mind if I just go use the restroom really quick?
Oh, go for it.
Okay, you can start. Go through the
So
questions. I got to do so bad.
yeah, I'll save this one for you after. Sorry, guys, give me 1 second. So I know Sherry wrote me. So I'm just going to run through this really quick, and I don't know what Andrew would have to say about this, but how do you win a job against someone else who has a cheaper price? Um, Also, if you are doing an eviction clean out and the evicted tenants come back, I'm going to start this one over just so you can maybe if you want to get in on it too, Andrew. But how do you win a job against someone else who has a much cheaper price? Sherry wrote this one and then kind of added to it and said, also, what if you are doing an eviction clean out and the evicted tenants come back wanting, into the property to get their stuff? That's a very two-part question. But the first half, how to win a job against someone else with a cheaper price. The best thing I can say is what I've said on my other videos, and that's show up first. Be there. Get the appointment, book the appointment, and you be the one that shows up because 9 times out of 10, they use you because you're the one that's there. So I don't do estimates over text. If they got a cheaper price, that means you're bidding via text or something like that. Or sometimes I will price match. So if I'm there and they're like, hey, somebody already told me they'd come and do it for this. And if I look at the job and it's reasonable, I'll say, you know what? I'll do it for that. Sometimes you just have to do that. As far as if you're doing an eviction and somebody wants to get their stuff back, they come back. You ever had that happen, Andrew?
So I heard the first part of the question, which was how do you, cheaper price? You already answered that. What was the next part?
So what if you're doing an eviction clean out and the evicted tenants come back wanting into the property to get their
Oh,
stuff?
that's never
I've
happened
heard
to
of
me.
this happening rarely, but that's crazy.
I mean, I'm not the one to tell them who can do what. I would probably just let them know. I'm totally hypothetically speaking. I would say I'm doing my job regardless of what you do, but I don't think I'd be the person to be like, you can't go get your shit. I'm not that type of guy.
Yeah, especially if they're already paying you to remove it. It'd be like, hey, go grab as much as you can.
Yeah.
I don't
I mean,
know. That
oh
hasn't happened to me. So
yeah, so that's a tricky one. I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah.
Also, do you only accept checks from corporate clients?
So this is a tricky one. In the beginning, I was very strict with checks. Oh wait, are you asking me this or?
This is Sherry's last question.
Oh, okay.
Do you,
I
so
now.
yeah, I think she's just asking when you accept checks. I only accept checks from like estate lawyers or people who have to write a check.
Yep. So I refuse checks unless it's corporate and I know they're good for it. I'll always take a corporate check if I know the company's good for it. However, when it comes to personal, I have one rule. If they're moving out, I do not take a check because you won't be able to find them. That's the only rule. However, if it's a client who's like, I can only do check, I'll use my best judgment. I'll have my guys use my best judgment if they're good for it, like if they think they're good for it, because and I have yet to have a bounce check, but I take checks if it's a desperate measure. But I let everybody know no checks. We don't take checks. But
Yeah,
there
I tell
is,
them. Yeah, I say you got a check. It's in the account. You can use a card. You
yep,
know. Yeah.
yep. So I've made exceptions, and luckily no bouncing, but just try to avoid checks unless it's a business.
This is the one that I needed your help on.
Go ahead.
Steve Bass asked, how can you tell he's trying to break free of his 9 to 5 job, but he needs to find out if there's a need for the service in his area.
Um,
And I remember you had some things that you did, you looked up online.
Yeah, so I have a really good video on this, but your first obvious clue is going to be: is there any franchises? Is there any corporate guys in your area? If there is, that means there's clearly a need for it. Otherwise, a franchise wouldn't survive because they have to pay franchise fees too on top of that. So if there's franchise locations, um, absolutely, that's probably already a sign that you can survive. Number two is what's the population, and is there a lot of homeowners? Like, I mean, that's it's usually homeowners who want to get rid of stuff. If the population is a decent size, I mean, you probably can survive. And I mean, you could probably do a junk removal company with only 100,000 population, but you would be doing some crazy guerrilla strategies. You wouldn't be able to rely on Google ads, but I'm sure there's a need, like if it's a decent sized population. But I would start with seeing other junk removal companies if
Yeah.
there's any in the area.
How do you account for price in things? This is from Parker. How do you account for price in things like stairs or difficult access items? Because their issue is, they'll might quote a quarter load, and then they have to tell them why it might be higher after.
Yep.
So
Is this
any
for me? Are you asking
that
me
one
or?
that one's the reason I'm addressing that question towards you. I have my answer, which I also kind of replied to them, and I can answer it. But I was curious what you thought about that one.
Yeah, so it's always, we never talk about upsells over the phone. So when you get there, the strategy that we use, and my guys are much better salespeople than I am, but what I did in the past is I would explain, and you'd have the pricing sheet that shows the overages, right? Like, hey, and you would explain to them, like, hey, it's going to be a quarter load, but as you can see here, you have 3 flights of stairs. That's extra labor, and you'd show them it's $50 per flight of stair. But I would be like, but I'll do you a favor. I'll dock off one, and I use. Here's the thing with upsells. Upsells I use entirely for negotiation. That's how I do it. It's always upsells are always a negotiating strategy. So I'll tack
Me
on the
too.
upsells and then I'll bring some off. And I'll even take them all off if it's just to save the job. But at the end of the day, you want to get as many upsells as you can because it does require more work, more time, more labor, more effort. But I use it as a negotiating strategy. Hey, you got 3 flights of stairs, you've got long distance. Look, that's $50 a flight or $25 a flight. Your long distance, you're looking at another 50. Normally, normal junk removal is we show up, we pick it up, it's right here. But this is extra labor. We got to add on $50 for extra labor too. But I know that's a lot. What I'll do, I'm not supposed to do this. I'll dock off the extra labor. I'll dock off the extra distance, and I'll just tag you for 2 stairs. So that's how I approach upsells. And you could kind of feel out the vibe if they're accepting of it or not. And you would know, like, oh, okay, they're fine with the overages. They understand. Oh, they're not fine with it. And then that's when I'll start pulling back some of the extra charges.
Yeah.
I don't know if that answered the question. I kind of just went on a tangent.
No, that was great. Renardia, I found the question that I saved for you, and we already covered a few of them because I know you had a little bit of a list there.
Uh-huh.
Um, but how long did it take to get your pricing right? Was it hard to find a balance between your value, your work, and what the customer will pay? And I think this kind of goes into what Andrew was just talking about with the overages. I use overages as like a negotiating tactic, just like he does. I think it's a fantastic thing. We're a premium service, and you have to know your value and your worth. I think a lot of people who are new, they just want to get that job. They don't feel like they're really worth that value yet, and they quote cheap, and then they find out it was harder later, and they got to come back and they feel apologetic that, hey, I'm so sorry, but it's going to be more. I think what really helps is Andrew's got a great video on pricing and his price sheet, and I did a little one too. I don't think mine's as good as his, but it'll really help. And I think having a price sheet when you show up is like 100% required. Like you have to have a price sheet because they will try to negotiate with you. But when they see it on there, like you get a
Mhm.
laminated price sheet, it's a menu. Yeah.
Exactly. And as far as setting your prices, I'm going to be honest. I just copied 1-800 got junk because heard I heard from Sonoma Strong and everybody else, don't be the cheap guy. You'll shoot yourself in the foot. So I just
Yeah.
said, fuck it. I'm just going to go with the top dogs. I think I dropped it by like $100, but as soon as I got confident and my new polos came in, I had my brown binder with my clipboard, my pricing sheet. And here's the thing with the pricing sheet. Of course, you can be that guy who just shows up and just pulls a number out of your ass. And they're always, people are going to have in the back of their mind, like, oh, Is he going to charge me more or less? But when you have a pricing sheet, it's like when you're going to McDonald's. It's always consistent. You know you're going to get the same thing. You know you're not getting screwed. It's kind of like a trustworthy way of charging people. But once you're uniformed, decaled, look professional, there's no reason you can't charge the same price. Like, I mean, customer service only goes so far, right? Like, you're not 800 Got Junk isn't doing anything extraordinarily better than you. Like, if you are providing the same service at just as good customer service and satisfaction, you should be able to charge the same.
100%. I agree. You show up with a uniform, and having that extra person with you really helps because then
Yeah,
you're matching uniform. They have the corporate wall, you know?
yeah,
Yeah,
and
agreed.
and a lot of people think you probably shouldn't charge as much. I know there's some people out there like, hey, you're not 1-800 Junk, you can't. But the thing is there's not a huge value difference between this guy and that guy. I mean, there's only so much difference that we can provide in customer service. You know what I mean? It's like there's not a huge value difference between you and, like, you're friendly, you get the job done. So you should be able to charge as much. And that's my thoughts on it. Hope that
Yeah,
helps.
if you are licensed and insured, you should be able to price just like that. Get yourself a uniform, get yourself a shirt. If you're not licensed and insured, you're not taking it seriously anyway, and you're kind of doing a one-off, you're going to do cheaper jobs.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's all that people had that they wrote, Andrew. So
All right. I guess let me see that we're just getting started. Thanks for all the tips. The trades have all. Let me see. What is this? The trades have all of their services on the trades. I don't know what you mean, Andrew.
So I think he's talking about combining. Okay, so like when you have like two men in a truck, for example, they do moving, they do junk removal, they do storage. I
Mhm.
think that's what he's talking about for separating your cleaning and your junk removal. Now, for me, I would completely separate it because I believe in going thin and deep. So you get a lot of business doing one thing. I think if you do everything, you're very broad and you don't get as much done. So I would
Yeah.
separate them.
Yeah. I agree. If that's what you meant, I'm gonna have to just agree with Dave on that. Definitely keep it separate. If you're talking about like individual services, like garage, I'm thinking like a website, garage cleanouts, and you want to have those separate pages so that you can build SEO for each page. When somebody types in playset removal, that one specific service shows up for playset removal, and then fence removal, pool removal, jacuzzi removal. You want all those separate pages because in time your SEO will build. Um, Last one, Tesla Sam. We've gotten this question a few times, Dave. I'll let you just answer it one more time.
Yeah, no problem. So check it out. When it comes, so people have two major questions that are hard to answer, and it's tax questions and it's licensing questions. So when it comes and insurance, just make sure you're insured. If something happens, make sure your insurance is able to cover it. But again, you got to talk to an insurance guy for taxes. How to set up for an LLC or an S corp, or whether you're doing it as a sole proprietor. You need to talk to a tax professional to find out what's best for you. I know that I switched to an S corp, and that's because I am now a W-2 of my own company, and I have W-2 employees, and that's just what I'm going to do. When it comes to licensing, it's down to the city, down to the county, down to the state. You have to figure out, as an entrepreneur, that's on you to go and figure that out. Unfortunately, we can't help you with that.
And there's a beautiful thing too. Like, you could even call the city. Like, if you're too
Yeah,
lazy to
they'll
Google
help
it,
you.
just call the city. They'll help you. They'll redirect you, and then somebody could be like, "Yeah, you need a permit or license." But
Yeah, on most city web pages too, they'll have a spot that says new business, and you click that and they'll walk you through it.
yep. So yeah, guys, that was an hour and 33 minutes so far, man. So that was awesome. We've had a steady 29,
How many
30
people are on?
29, 30 the whole time too,
That's
watching the
awesome.
whole time. So that's really cool.
Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, so hey guys, if you like the live stream, leave a comment so I know if I'm going to do this more often. I have never positioned myself as an interviewer. I'm not really good at it, but this went good. It went smooth. Dave, any where can they find you, and any closing thoughts?
Website is lugstars.com, and everything else on my social media is Lug Stars Junk Removal. I just kind of all do it the same. Please don't call my sales line. Email me. It's getting a little overwhelming, and I missed some sales call. But I'm happy to talk to anybody if you guys want to. I'm on YouTube, Lug Stars Junk Removal, but I'm happy to answer any questions. You can reach out to me.
Right on. Hey guys, thanks for watching, and hey Dave, thanks for
having me, Andrew.
yeah, man, it was really fun. All right, man. Later, guys.
Okay, see you guys.
Peace.